Hey everyone and welcome back. So today we're diving deep into online scams and how to avoid becoming a victim.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
We got that video from Self-Esteem, new video alert, how to spot and avoid scams. And, I gotta say, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it is a little alarmist for sure. But you know what? It really drives home this point that scammers, they really bank on us wanting what?
Connections, right? Good deals. Oh, and that quick, easy money.
Exactly. And I think that's something that's often overlooked, right? We tend to think of victims as like naive or gullible, but really they're just human.
Absolutely. I mean, who hasn't been tempted by a deal that seems too good to be true? Especially online, where everything moves so fast, it's easy to get caught up in the moment. And that's what scammers count on.
So true. And speaking of getting caught up, the video talks about this thing with like fake profiles on social media, right?
Yeah.
And they specifically mention celebrities, which I know that's a big one. But what always gets me are those friend requests from people who you almost recognize. Oh, yeah, tell me about it. That's happened to me more times than I can count.
Right. It's like, wait, do I know this person? Maybe from that conference last year?
And you hesitate just long enough to think, well, better not risk it. I'll just accept. And bam, next thing you know, they're trying to sell you something, or even worse, get their hands on your personal information. It's scary how sophisticated these scams have become.
Okay, so this is blowing my mind. You know how the video talked about phishing emails? I thought I was pretty good at spotting those.
You know, a lot of people think that.
Me too, right. But they were saying it's not just emails anymore. It's like any message could be phishing. Texts, DMs, you name it.
Exactly. And they're getting really good at making them look official, too. I mean, I got one that looked exactly like it was from my bank. I almost fell for it.
Oh, tell me about it. Like, I swear I got one that looked like it was from the IRS the other day.
Yeah, they love to use fear and urgency.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, your account has been compromised or you owe back taxes.
Mm, exactly. That kind of stuff really gets your heart racing. And when you're in a panic, you're more likely to click on a link without thinking twice.
Ugh, it makes my skin crawl just thinking about it.
Mm.
And speaking of things that make my skin crawl, the video also talks about those, online shopping deals that seem way too good to be true.
Right, like that $200 TV that's actually worth $2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a classic bait and switch tactic.
And I have to admit, I'm guilty of falling for that one.
Yeah, it's a hard one to resist, isn't it? I mean, we all love a good deal, but sometimes you really do get what you pay for, or in some cases, you don't get anything at all. And you know what's scary is that it doesn't even have to be on a shady website.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, of course, there are tons of fake online stores out there, but you can even find scams on legitimate websites too. They might be selling counterfeit goods or just straight up taking your money and running.
That's crazy. So how are we supposed to know who to trust? It's like, what are we online detectives now?
Well, in a way, yeah. You really have to be vigilant. It's so easy to get swept up in the excitement of online shopping, but always remember to stop and think before you click that buy button. If a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Right. Okay, so we've talked about shopping, but what about investments? The video really hits the nail on the head about those guaranteed returns being a major red flag.
Yeah, guaranteed returns. That's a dead giveaway.
So true.
I always think back to that whole cryptocurrency craze a couple of years ago. Everyone thought they were going to get rich overnight, but it turned out to be a massive scam.
Oh, yeah. I knew someone who lost a lot of money on that.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, really. People put their life savings into these schemes only to have their dreams dashed when it all comes crashing down. And the thing is, these scammers are really good at preying on people's emotions, especially during tough times.
That is so true. They know just what to say to gain your trust and exploit your vulnerabilities.
Exactly. It's all about being aware of those tactics and arming yourself with the knowledge you need to protect yourself.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because I thought it was interesting that the video actually encourages people to share their experiences with scams in the comments.
It is a great way to spread awareness.
Right. It's like, hey, this happened to me. Don't let it happen to you.
Exactly. By sharing our stories, we can help each other stay one step ahead of the scammers. But, and this is important, there's a fine line between sharing helpful information and oversharing.
Oh, yeah,
We
absolutely.
should definitely be talking about these things, but we also have to be mindful of what information we're putting out there, you know?
So, like, what should people avoid sharing?
Good question. So, obviously, never share personal details like your full name, address, phone number, that kind of thing. But also, be careful about sharing specific financial information or anything that could be used to identify you.
Good point. Sometimes we think we're being anonymous online, but it's easy to forget just how much information we're actually putting out there.
Exactly. And scammers are always looking for those little bits of information they can piece together to build a profile of you and target you more effectively.
It's like that saying, loose lips sink ships, right? Maybe we need an updated version for the digital age. Loose clicks sink bank accounts,
I like that. Loose clicks sync bank accounts. Catchy and accurate.
right? It's like a public service announcement for the internet age.
I'm all for it.
Me too. So to wrap things up, it sounds like the big takeaway here is to be aware, be skeptical, and be very, very careful about what you share online.
I think that's a great way to put it. Be your own best advocate. Don't let fear paralyze you, but do approach everything with a healthy dose of skepticism. If something feels off, trust your gut.
Love that. Trust your gut. It's amazing how often our intuition is right, even when we can't quite explain it.
Absolutely. And if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch or a free trip to Hawaii for filling out a quick survey.
Oh, I've gotten those emails. It's so tempting.
Oh, I know, right? But that's the thing about scams. They prey on our desires, our dreams, our vulnerabilities. But with a little knowledge and a lot of caution, we can avoid falling into those traps.
I love that. Knowledge is power. So thank you so much for breaking all of this down. I feel like I learned so much today.
My pleasure. It's always a good time talking about these things. Hopefully it helps someone out there stay safe online.
I think it will. And for everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
Until then, stay safe out there.
Bye, everyone.